Have you ever stopped to think about the world your grandmother was born into, or your great-grandmother? The opportunities they had, the dreams they were allowed to pursue, the voices they were allowed to have. The journey from their world to ours is nothing short of a revolution, a quiet and often difficult battle fought by millions of women for millions of women. This is the story of women's emancipation, and it's a story that's still being written. Let's rewind the clock. For much of history, a woman's life was largely predetermined. Her world was confined to the home, her role defined by her relationship to menas, a daughter, a wife, a mother. Education, often considered unnecessary, a career unthinkable for most. The right to vote, to own property, to make decisions about her own body and future. These were radical ideas. Think about the suffragettes. Women like Emmeline Pankhurst in the UK or Susan B. Anthony in the US. They weren't just asking politely for a seat at the table. They were chaining themselves to railings, going on hunger strikes, and enduring public ridicule, all for the simple, fundamental right to cast a ballot. They understood that political power was the key to unlocking all other doors. When women finally won the right to vote, it wasn't just a political victory. It was a seismic shift in how society viewed women's capabilities and their place in the world. But the vote was just the beginning. The fight moved into the workplace. For decades, jobs were strictly segregated by gender. Help wanted male and help wanted female were standard sections in the newspapers. Women were often paid significantly less for doing the same work as men, if they were even allowed to do it at all. The idea of a woman being a doctor, a CEO, or an astronaut was science fiction to many. Then came the waves of feminism in the 20th century. Women started questioning everything. Why should our value be tied to our marital status? Why are we expected to sacrifice our ambitions for our families, while men aren't? This cultural awakening, fueled by writers like Simone de Beauvoir and Betty Friedan, brought private struggles into the public conversation. It was about more than just laws. It was about changing hearts and minds. It was about the problem that has no name, the feeling of unfulfillment that many women experienced in their limited roles. This movement led to tangible changes. Laws were passed against gender discrimination in hiring and pay. Access to higher education skyrocketed for women. Suddenly, the doors to boardrooms, laboratories, and courtrooms started to creak open. Women began to break through one glass ceiling after another, proving that competence, intelligence, and leadership have no gender. Every woman who became the first in her field was not just achieving a personal dream. She was paving the way for countless others to follow. And let's not forget the personal front. The revolution also took place in our homes and in our relationships. The fight for reproductive rights gave women unprecedented control over their own bodies and life paths. It meant that motherhood could be a choice, not an inevitability. This fundamentally changed the dynamics of family, career, and personal freedom. It allowed women to plan their lives, to invest in their education and careers, and to define their own destinies. So, where are we today? When we look around, we see women leading countries, running Fortune 500 companies, winning Nobel Prizes, and pushing the boundaries of science and art. This is the legacy of the generations. Of women who fought for the freedoms we often take for granted. We stand on the shoulders of giants women who dared to imagine a different world and fought to make it a reality. But is the journey over? Not by a long shot. The fight for true equality continues. We still see a persistent gender pay gap in many parts of the world. Women are still underrepresented in leadership positions in both politics and business. We still battle outdated stereotypes and unconscious biases that limit potential. And in many corners of the globe, girls are still denied basic education and human rights, facing the very same struggles our great-grandmothers did. This is why the story of women's emancipation isn't just a history lesson. It's a call to action. It's a reminder that progress is not inevitable. It has to be protected, nurtured, and pushed forward. It's about creating a world where every single girl can grow up believing that her voice matters, her dreams are valid, and her potential is limitless. How do we do that? It starts with us. It's about mentoring young women and girls, challenging sexism when we see it, and supporting policies that promote equality. It's about men being active allies in this journey, recognizing that gender equality benefits everyone. A more equal society is a more prosperous, innovative, and just society for all. It's about raising our sons to respect women and our daughters to know their own strength. The story of women's emancipation is a powerful testament to the human spirit's desire for freedom and justice. It's a story of courage, resilience, and hope. We've come so far, but there's still a path to walk. Let's walk it together and continue to write the next chapter of this incredible story, ensuring that the future for our daughters and granddaughters is even brighter, fairer, and more equal than we can even imagine. Thanks so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content that explores the ideas and histories that shape our world. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.